we are recording our first video in, I guess we're going to call this Clouse's summer vacation. I decided to essentially do Max's bedroom makeovers, partially. I mean, I might do a couple other things, but for now we're starting off with some classic pre-made bedroom makeovers. And we're starting off with Lilith Pleasant. I did change the walls a little bit. Now, I remember early on, like, the general consensus seemed to be like, oh, poor Lilith, like, she barely had anything in her room, you know, her room was smaller, blah, 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 but, like, the things in her room are very expensive. Like, the wall coverings were twice the value of Angela's. I think they were 10 compared to Angela's 5. Her dresser was 560 simoleons compared to Angela's 250, and then her bed was more than double. Like, she had a lot of expensive things just because Angela had a computer. And I don't know if that was just maybe my impression from way back beyond, that I was like, oh, you know, poor Lilith kind of thing. But I definitely really wanted to keep it not fair, but like true to the original, but also put my own spin on it, so to speak. And at the same time, oh god, that's the most cliche thing to say, like, give a new edge, but like make it a little bit more realistic. So I gave her a little bit of a bigger room, but you'll see I changed the carpets because I don't know how your parents were, but I know my parents definitely wouldn't have let me change the carpet in my room just for the aesthetic purposes. I also changed the walls because, again, pretty sure my parents wouldn't let me put a bunch of stones in the walls. I figure wallpaper, though, which is what this is a wallpaper, would be a bit more acceptable, and I figure Mary Sue and Lilith have kind of contentious push-pull kind of thing, like, they compromise a lot. The flooring, obviously, is not Lilith's choice. She wouldn't want that kind of, I'm sure she would call it ugly, taupey sort of color, but it's practical and it's something that I can envision would be in a 90s sort of house. And so that's what I put in there. I imagine this is the sort of thing that would be in the entire house if I were to make over the whole house. I'm going to say right now, I'm not going to make over the whole house. That's not what I'm interested in doing. I don't want to do a neighborhood makeover. That's not what we're here for. This is specifically about kind of character development via bedrooms. That said, if you guys do enjoy those, or enjoy these, definitely leave a comment, let me know. I'm not opposed to doing more of these, maybe when I get back, but for now I'm just doing the ones that I am scheduled to kind of do while I'm away. So some of the things that I wanted to include for Lilith in particular, like, she strikes me as the kind of person that has a lot of like little tiny houseplants, definitely really into music, not necessarily someone who plays an instrument, but is just interested in music. I downloaded headphones for her. I couldn't find them, so I didn't end up putting them in the build, but that was something that I wanted to include. I had like headphones that were on a stand. She's somebody that probably records videos for kind of SimTube, plays video games, but maybe not as interested in them as Angela is, because her playfulness is not quite as high. I see her as someone that kind of more maybe interested in like board games sort of thing, and then like maybe likes the arcade, like social sort of games. She does strike me as the kind of person that does a little bit of substances, probably bubble blow or that kind of thing. So I did download some stuff specifically for her, and I did go on like some download sprees for, because I'm going to do Angela as well. I did go on download sprees for both of them to get some CC that really fit both their aesthetic that I wanted to include for them. I honestly imagine both of them have some sort of mental illness type of deal. Personally, I can see them having bipolar disorder. As somebody with bipolar disorder, kind of some of the behaviors and the way that they're set up, I can really see that happening. And the only real difference between them and how they're treated and how they behave would be Angela takes her medication and Lilith maybe doesn't take it, or doesn't take it the way that she's supposed to, which makes her maybe a little bit more difficult to deal with. So I tried to kind of show that as well. I wanted to include some kind of hair dye as well. A lot of old CC sets that I remember I couldn't really find. I did find a box of hair dye that I put on the nightstand as like a Mary Sue warning, as like, if you annoy me enough, I will open this box and dye my hair teal. I also see Lilith as someone who's really interested in makeup, more so than Angela. Like, she just seems like someone who's really interested in that kind of thing, so I see her as like a makeup YouTuber, and obviously in modern times kind of TikToker. She would really be interested in that sort of thing, so I really wanted to give her a lot of different types of makeup. She's got a ton of music posters. I wanted to download like a Game Boy for her. I could see her playing, like, again, more social sort of games, but I couldn't find a working link for the Game Boys that I was finding. I thought about giving her a record player as well, but then I was like, I don't know. And I couldn't find, like, I really wanted to find, like, boxes of board games, so, like, Scrabble and Monopoly and things like that, but I couldn't find that type of CC either. It could have just been my search terms. I was finding a lot of, like, there's a neighborhood Monopoly setup, for example, but I couldn't find what I was looking for. Which is the problem with older games in general, especially Sims 2. It's a lot of the CC just doesn't exist anymore, or it's harder to find. But I am happy with the overall look of the room and what I was able to do with it. I had to cut it because it took me a long time to decorate. I put a lot into it. I just let myself go with it. Kind of how some of the original builds I did on this channel, like I didn't really look at the clock. I didn't really think of how long I was recording. I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna record and see how long it takes. And yeah, it was a long time. I don't remember quite how long I was recording, but it was a long time. It was I'm pretty sure it was over 2 or 3 hours for one bedroom. So, but I like it, even though she's got a weird shaped room. But I had a lot to go with, like, especially all the furniture she had in her room was kind of like Asian inspired, so I really think that she kind of, I hesitate to say fetish sizes, because like her mom is, I mean, there's not really Asian in Sims, there's Tekmizu, but like her mom is from there, and so that's part of her culture, but like that's definitely something that she seems like she's into, so I wanted to incorporate that as well. So like the mirror, some of the posters, I included like the little good luck cat, the little dragon statue, just some little things to like really incorporate that into her bedroom to make sure it's still there. Also, I did not playtest this, like that is not the purpose of these videos. This is just making a cool room. I did use like this old camcorder kind of setup for her because I just thought it was funny, to be completely honest. It amused me greatly, and that's why it's here. I couldn't fit like everything that I wanted to, because even though I made her room larger, there's only so much space. So a lot of the things that I wanted to include, I was just like, alright, something's gotta give. She also strikes me as someone who's really interested in like mechanical things, but again, like I can't put a car engine upstairs because I just can't see Mary Sue allowing that. But she's also really interested in sports, so I wanted to include like the skateboard, because I can't see her like playing baseball or things like that. I think she'd be really good at it, but I don't think that she would participate or have like the grades to participate. I also realized I didn't have any real OMSPs installed except for a few, so I was like, great! So I had like 3, I think, to work with, maybe 4 or 5, I don't even know, like barely any. So I get a little creative. A few are floating, especially when I get to Angela's room. It definitely is a problem, but it works out okay. I didn't want to give Lilith too much in way of like her desk with a bunch of stuff on it. She just doesn't strike me as someone who cares about school. She just really doesn't, so I didn't want to put a ton up there. It's just not something that she's interested in. I think she's really interested in makeup. She's interested in, you know, the Sim Asian culture. She's interested in kind of jewelry. She likes to record doing her makeup. She likes working on kind of mechanical things. School, yeah, you can see I did download substance type things, so she does have those, which I don't know why I'm being careful about what I say, but just in case. And she does have a vape pen as well. The little Pac-Man plans crack me up. I was so happy. I was like, yes, this is perfectly Lilith. Like, she would have these. I don't even know why she strikes me as someone who has pets. She does. She strikes me as someone who also bakes a lot, which I couldn't really, it's hard to show, like, this person bakes in their room. Like, I didn't really want to put, like, cookbooks or things in her room. I also was not going to put a bunch of books in her room. She just doesn't seem like the type of person that would have them. But yeah, like, plants for sure, and then I can see Angela as being the type of person who murders plants and also cannot cook. Just fun, opposite-y twin things that amuse me. I actually don't think, like, when I play the twins, I don't play them as, like, not liking each other necessarily just because they don't like each other. I think it's just they have a difficult family life and it's easier to kind of not like each other than to blame their parents kind of thing. I think Angela kind of gets the good child card, not because she's better or, you know, the good daughter, it's just she's easier to deal with, maybe because she's, like I said, medicated, or just because if you look at her room, like, she does seem like she's a lot younger, so she just isn't going through a lot of the teen things that are naturally harder to deal with. Like, being a teenager is tough, and teenagers are tough, and when you already have a situation like Mary Sue and Daniel's marriage, throwing teenagers into that is just not great, not great. I love those little moon and star jewelry things, as a side note. They're so cool. And now the great the great makeup sort. I was being very particular because I had so much makeup, I could really afford to be particular about what makeup went on this kind of tiny vanity. I kind of hate using, like, the open makeup things, because in general, you don't have a whole bunch of open makeup on your vanity. Like, that's not, it's going to be closed except for what you're using. So I kind of don't like that type of CC. I mean, I'll use it, but just in general, it seems like it's always open. So I really tried to pull all the closed makeup first, which I had quite a bit of closed makeup. I was surprised. Like, I found a lot of little palettes and, like, eyeshadow things, and it was quite nice. And then I could delete some of, like, the lower poly sort of things. This is me just going, what am I going to keep? What am I going to get rid of? Because money really wasn't an object. Like, again, that really wasn't my goal here. My goal here was just to make something that I could go, okay, yeah, this is how I envision Lilith's room to be when, you know, money is not really an object, so to speak. And so now we're building kind of her recording setup, but also, like, her makeup setup. So this is where she gets ready, but also where she records videos. I lucked out that the OSPs that I had were a really good height. Like, most tables are about this height. I have, like, that little microphone up there. And so I'm just kind of putting as much up here as I can, because Lilith is not a super clean sim, but instead of, you know, just throwing a bunch of stuff on the floor, how I interpreted that, because of course, I don't imagine Mary Sue lets her have a very messy room. Instead, she just has like a bunch of, like, the surfaces that she has and like her walls and stuff are covered in stuff instead, because Mary Sue doesn't let her have a messy room and she doesn't want to be grounded or in trouble or whatever. So instead she's like, well, my vanity is just absolutely covered in makeup and my walls are covered in posters, kind of thing. I was disappointed that that teeny tiny eyeshadow was basically all shades of red. I was like, oh, I've got a bunch of recolors, and I was like, oh, they're all red. They don't look different. Because I thought I could have 3 different colors, but yeah. But still, I'm happy that I got some closed ones, because like I said, it does annoy me a little bit to have a whole bunch of like open makeup all over vanity, because it's just not, it looks weird, because you don't have, that's not how anybody does their makeup that I know anyways. And those look like little macaroons. Every time I see them, it's very cute. God, this is a long video. I forgot how long it was. I'm just like, oh my gosh. I'm really happy with it though, and I'm sad that, in a way, that I'm recording it so far ahead of time, because I've got a bunch of screenshots and I'm like, am I gonna post these or am I just gonna hold on to them? I might end up posting them, because I don't know if I'm honestly gonna be able to wait that long to show you guys. 'Cause I'm really proud of this. Like, this was really hard, and I put a lot of effort into it. Like, I spent several hours today downloading and trying to find stuff, and then got into decorating. But it's worth it. I haven't done something like this in a long time, and I've never done something like this really for the Uberhood. I've occasionally been like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, make it over, but I really haven't done anything this intense for it. Like I said, I have no desire to make up the, like, so many people have done it. They've done it well. I don't need to, so I have no desire. Like, I don't want to, but things like this are different enough that it holds my interest. Because it's something that, you know, I could show how I see these characters and how they kind of developed in my mind over the years. We are just about done. Like I said, if you guys did enjoy this, definitely let me know. I will be checking comments and things, even though I'm, like I said, completely gone until, I'm gonna be gone for about a month. But yeah, I'll be checking comments. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, if there's any particular area you like the best. I'm super proud of it, so I'm just gonna sit and gush over my own work because I'm proud. And thank you guys so much for watching, for supporting the channel. We're actually coming up on 3 years, I think, which is pretty crazy. I didn't think that I would last this long. I usually lose interest in things and stop doing them, but I have continued to sally forth and do the thing, so that's great. Yeah, and let me know what you think of my take on Lilith Pleasant. Is this kind of how you see her? Is this close to how you would imagine her? Are there things that you play her differently, the same? I love talking about pre-mades. I will talk about pre-mades until the cows come home. Honestly, just whatever you feel like talking about. I did that outro way too soon, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye, guys.